What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today we are checking out this duo. BMW M5 competition versus BMW M5 CS. One of our favorite BMWs ever made versus one of the best super saloons ever made. So we're going to check out the differences. We're going to walk around it, show you a couple of the subtle differences, and then we'll drive them back to back to give you the best idea possible of what the differences are and how they feel, and if the changes on paper actually make sense when you drive them. So we'll start with the looks, and well, it is a big difference. You've got those gold bronze details, so the grille surround, the logos and the wheels. You also have the carbon fiber splitter, a carbon fiber bonnet with heat extraction vents. As you can see, this has a normal bonnet. You can see the lights as well. So we've got yellow daytime running lights on the CS. And then you don't have a blue strip above the light. As you can see, we do have that here. And regular white DRLs. And then the front bumper design is pretty similar. This is an update for the facelift. It used to have like a grating like this, but now you have this shape, which is similar to, well, exactly the same as the one on the CS. So that was introduced with the facelift, and you don't get anything different for the CS. You do have this carbon splitter, which is available on the M5 competition when you go to the M Performance catalog, I think. That's the same one. So bonnet, as I said, it's regular on this. It is lighter carbon fiber on the CS. It's 70 kilos lighter than the competition, which doesn't sound like a lot, but this car weighs 1,825 kilos, which is not even that much for a big saloon these days. It's only 100 kilos heavier than an M3 with an automatic gearbox, so that is not bad at all. You can actually, I mean, I don't want to say you can feel the difference of the weight, but the complete transformation of the car definitely feels different than the competition. But we're going to talk about that more in depth when we drive them. Other than that, we've got a chalk color right here, which is very nice, quite like that. It is a BMW individual color. And then we've got Brands Hatch Grey, frozen Brands Hatch Grey, I should say, on the CS, which is one of only 3 colors available. So you had Brands Hatch Grey, frozen Brands Hatch Grey, and then frozen deep green, which is amazing. The green one I absolutely love. I should say also this car belongs to Thijs Timmermans, who is a car dealership, but also the owner of the car dealership, of course, and he always drives the coolest cars, and he drives them well. So we drove his 812 Superfast as well with 165,000 kilometers. This thing has done nearly 100,000 kilometers. He properly uses his cars, and well, that is just amazing to me, and he always lets us have a drive in them, which is amazing. So if you're interested, he has an amazing car dealership. Go check him out, link is in the description. He's also one of the first contributors to Autobahn. When we started 14 years ago, Thijs was working at a Mercedes-Benz dealership, and he gave us our first C63 with the performance package in 2010. So that is how long we've known Thijs, and it's amazing that we still get to work together. Really like that. Okay, so we've got the gold bronze wheels as well, with behind that standard fit carbon ceramic brakes. I have to say, little caveat, they say that it is 70 kilos lighter than a competition. Well, that's mainly because these carbon ceramics are standard and they save 23 kilos. So really, since that car also has carbon ceramics, the difference is not as big, unfortunately. So we've got P0s on the CS right here, and we've got Pilot Sport 4S's on the competition. Carbon fiber mirror caps, not standard on the M5, standard on the CS. Carbon roof, standard on both. And then at the rear we've got a nice carbon spoiler on the boot lid. The gold bronze logo M5 CS. A beautiful carbon diffuser, and these tailpipes. Also, they are stainless steel, but also in that gold bronze tint, and they have a nice thin rim. Listen to that. That's nice. I love those tips. I think it looks much better than the ones on the competition. You get a competition badge, of course, a different diffuser, and then you have these. See, they don't really ping that nice. That's -1 for the competition. So, other than that, there's not really much to say. It is a very handsome car, I think. They did update the rear lights for the LCI as well. And then one big difference, which you don't really think about. So let's do that in this car first. We'll check out the seats, because you get the carbon buckets, of course, in the CS. Beautiful bucket seats, the same you get in the M3, but this one has a Nürburgring logo stamped on it, and well, it's just an amazing seat. It is super supportive. You sit nice and low. It's comfy. It provides a lot more feedback through the seat compared to the regular seat. But also something you don't really think about. This seat is much thinner than the regular seat, so it actually saves a lot of space. You have more leg room, but also because it's thinner and you have these holes in it, it just feels a lot more airy and light in the rear. You also have these buckets that kind of mirror the seats in the front. You don't have a center seat anymore, but this is a beautiful rear seat. Now let's check out the competition. And you'll see that we've got the regular massive seats. Look at how big they are. And they take up so much more space. And you have a regular rear seat, of course, but yeah, it's not as airy and as light as the CS. They are very comfy though, and they are beautiful. It's a lovely seat, but you know, the CS seat is just a little bit better. Okay, so let's have a go in the competition first, and then we'll try the CS. Let's head out and have some fun with the BMWs. Do need a bit of AC for the GoPro, of course. Let's go. So we've got M1 as two-wheel drive mode, which is like the fun mode. That is the lovely thing about these cars. It has such a duality of character, being so comfy, so fast, but also allowing you to have rear-wheel drive. It just gives you such an incredible variety of M5s, basically. It's so versatile because of that. Now, if we look at M5 versus M5 competition, this car gets stiffer suspension, different bushings and stuff in the suspension as well, and more negative camber. You also get stiffer engine mounts for the facelift, and you get different spring rates and dampers from the BMW M8 competition Grand Coupe, which means they actually made this car a little bit more comfortable compared to the pre-facelift competition, because I think that gave them a bit more room to play with for the CS, also to make the gap a little bit bigger, of course, because that car is even more dynamically capable. But I remember when we drove the M5 for the first time, the F90. So he's going to do a launch control. We'll do that as well. It's not that loud, doesn't sound that good. That is probably one of the main drawbacks of this generation, especially with the OBF and stuff like that being introduced. The sound is not really great. It's nowhere near as exciting as an E63 or an RS6. Even I think an RS6 sounds better. But when we drove the M5 for the first time, the F90, so this generation, we were like, oh my god, it's way too comfortable. We need more, like, a sharper front end. We need it to be more agile, and that just surprised me that it was so comfortable. But then they came with the competition, and just immediately when we left the parking lot, basically, we felt like, okay, so that's what they did. They just left some room for the competition. which was a lot more sharp, you know, more negative camber, as I said, and just a different suspension setup. But this LCI version, they made it a little bit more comfortable again. And that has a couple reasons. One, as I said, they needed the space, the space between the models for the CS, but also no one really orders a regular M5 anymore. Basically, when the competition came out, everyone just ordered the competition, and it was like 10k more expensive, and everyone just went for the competition. So I think that that's also why when the LCI came, they didn't make any mechanical changes to the regular M5, but they did change the spring rates and the dampers and the engine mounts on the competition, because they did need to improve this car. Now, driving it, I do have to say, you do feel that. You do feel that they did make it a little bit more comfortable. It's a little bit more wiggly, it's a little bit softer. It's also pretty quiet, even when you're like properly on it. I mean, yeah, that doesn't really sound that good, right? I'm super happy that we still have a V8, but yeah, you don't have to buy this car for the sound. That's not really what this car excels at. It is lovely though. I mean, I've gotten to know this car so well over the last, what is it, 6 years, I think, right? And I feel really connected to the car. I feel like I know what the car will do, and it's very predictable, and that is good and bad, of course. It's not as exciting as I maybe wished, but again, that's what we've got the CS for. So that's also why we're going to switch now, and I'll show you guys what it's like to drive the CS. So you've seen the interior on the competition. Now I'll show you a quick. So you've seen the interior on the competition. I'll show you a couple differences. So we have a locked center console. We don't have a cubby anymore. You can't open this anymore. I don't understand why. That does not save weight, I would say, but anyway, we don't have that anymore. And we have a beautiful Alcantara steering wheel and a CS logo there on the carbon trim. Other than that, I think it is pretty much the same. Beautiful Alcantara on the roof though. Okay, so we've got a rear wheel drive setting here as well, which we're going to use. And then let's give the A-OK to Martijn, and we'll head out in the CS. Okay, so there are a few very big differences if you drive them back to back. One, this thing feels much sharper. The drivetrain feels more responsive. It feels like you get much more feedback. They removed sound deadening as well for the CS, you know, for the weight saving, of course. They improved the oil supply system as well to get that power, and of course a little ECU tune basically to give you 635 horsepower compared to 625 in the competition, and we've got 750 newton meters in this and that as well. But I do believe that it is more readily available in this, so earlier at the revs. So you definitely feel a difference. It might not be that big on paper, 10 horsepower, 70 kilos, but when you drive them back to back, the difference is huge. It just feels more eager to go. I mean, it is, it's such a quick car as well. And when you drive them back to back, you really feel the difference. You really do. I don't know what it is. It's definitely more than, I think it's more than they let on. I think the changes are bigger than BMW says. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense because it's better for them as well. So 0 to 100, 3.3 for the competition, 3 seconds for the CS, I believe, which is kind of crazy. Also, we've got even stiffer engine mounts than the competition has. We've got a 7mm lower ride height. We've got those same dampers from the M8 Gran Coupe, but this time they've been set up for even more sporty driving, so they're stiffer. But also the difference in the wobbliness, as I said in the competition, I felt like it could be a bit less wiggly. This is definitely a lot tighter, which is nice. Sound-wise, the difference is not that big. If there is a difference, it actually, maybe the competition even sounded a little bit better, which is kind of weird, but yeah, it's not a very big difference. Still, you know, it's not a very exciting sound, this. You also have different pedal shifters, which is kind of cool. It is more agile, it is stiffer, it's more nimble, it responds better, it's tighter, it's more tied down, but it still retains that comfortable balance. That suspension, it has been set up to perfection because you still have the daily drivability. It still absorbs everything. It's such a magic car, this. So, you know, when you say that is one of the best all-round super saloons out there, you know, I don't feel like this is a lesser car because it's not really less comfortable, but it does feel more aggressive and sharper, and yeah. So on the Autobahn, top speed is the same, 305 kilometers an hour with the driver's package. Both have ceramic brakes. Gaining a little bit there. So 100 to 200, we've covered a couple of different M5s. We had one really fast one, which was quite strange. It was faster than all the other ones we ever had. It did like 6.7, and this last time we measured the M5 CS, we did 6.69. So normally it is significantly faster than an M5, but we had that one like fluke M5 that was built on a really good day, or someone really enjoyed building the car that day. But they are very fast, 100 to 200. That's 300 kilometers an hour. And we're going to switch here. Totally forgot about that. Ceramic brakes for the win. Oh my god. Okay, I've not really done that a lot. So that was 300 to like 100 kilometers an hour. Oh, these cars are so amazing. They really are. You forgot it as well.
Can't do that without.
Oh, that was amazing. You forgot as well that we were going to switch.
No. I just wanted to keep going.
I
as long as possible.
I totally forgot. Okay, let's.
That was some great commercial for carbon ceramic brakes.
Yeah. Carbon ceramics for the win. Absolutely amazing. And the pedal just doesn't change. Brake pedal just stays so firm. It's amazing what these cars can do. Absolutely incredible. Okay, so this is the good thing about driving the back-to-back. You really feel the difference. So immediately when I get into this car, it feels so much more comfortable already. So we're going to let Martijn pass. Oh, that thing looks cool, right? I do like the fact that they really changed the look. Oh, I forgot the speedo cam, but that one is big enough for you guys, I hope. And of course, you know, the performance is better with the CS, but that's really not what it's about. It's the change of feel and of aggression, both, you know, driving and looking at it, but mostly driving it. It's a really big difference, and yeah, that's a real benefit of driving them back-to-back. So big thanks to Thijs for letting us take out his M5 CS. I mean, this is an amazing car as well, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely stunning. There are not many cars that, as I said, can do everything as well as these two. But, you know, if I had to choose one, of course, it would be the CS. They only built around 1,000 of them, probably. It was not really a limited production car, but they were only going to build it for 1 year. And apparently that would amount to 1,000 in total. But I'm not really sure how many they built. But, you know, that car is an absolute gem. This is as well. But it just doesn't have that last bit of edge, that last bit of connection, of raw character, raw pace. And just the feedback that you get from that car is amazing compared to this one. So, we are getting close to the border now, last run. Had an absolute blast with these cars. Hope you enjoyed the video. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video on the right, this playlist. Don't forget to check out Thijs Timmermans. Link is in the description, and we'll see you at the next one. Bye guys.